Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support, and to my new audience, thank you for stopping by. So in today's tutorial, we want to learn how to draft a basic bodice. So if you are interested, let's go straight into the tutorials. What you need for this tutorial is your pattern paper. You need your pencil, your eraser, in case you need to erase anything. You need your tape, your scissors. You can need your marker if you wish, but it's optional. And then your rulers, your straight ruler and your curve rulers. The first thing is for you to draw a straight line on your pattern paper, which indicates your starting point. And the starting point here represents your shoulder line. So I will call it shoulder line. Let me use the marker. So that is my shoulder line. So from your shoulder line, you will measure from your shoulder line to your bust point, and that will serve as your bust line. So for the person I'm drafting this for, from the shoulder line to the bust point is 10 inches. So that's 10 inches. I've drawn the line already. For the sake of time, I've drawn the line already. So I will call that my bust line. Believe you can see. Then the next line you will draw is from your shoulder line to your waist. From your shoulder, you measure from your shoulder to your waist. And that will represent your waistline. So for this one that I'm working with, from shoulder to the waist is 17 inches for the front. That's my waistline. 17 inches for the front, but for the back is 15 inches. You can see that the front is quite longer than the back measurement because the front have bust while the back is flat. So your front measurement will always be longer than the back measurement because of bust. But for somebody that doesn't have bust, maybe for children, it will be the same. So the next line after your waistline is your full length. So you determine the length that you want your blouse to stop. When you measure it, then you draw this particular line, which will serve as your full length. But for the one I'm working with, is 24 inches. So after that, the next thing will be for you to impute my shoulder measurement. So the shoulder I'm working with is 17 inches. 17 inches divided by 2 will give you 8.5. So that is my shoulder measurement. Then for the neck, I'm using 3 inches width and 3 inches depth. So I will impute my 3 inches neck width and my 3 inches neck depth. I'll connect the neckline. That is my neckline. Then for the shoulder, I'm going to slope my shoulder for the front with 1.5 inches. For the shoulder slope, it helps the cloth to sit firm on the shoulder. If you can see, the shoulder is not straight, so it helps the cloth to sit firm. So I will come down 1.5 inches, then I'll connect it to my neckline. So the next thing is for me to impute my armhole measurement. For you to find your armhole measurement, you measure around your armhole, or you can divide your bust measurement by 6 plus 1.5. But if you don't want the armhole to be that open, if you are making a sleeveless dress, you divide your bust by 6 plus 1 inch instead of 1.5. I believe you get what I'm trying to explain. So for this one, the bust is 40 inches. So 40 divided by 6 plus 1 inches will gives me 7.6. So from my shoulder slope, I will measure my 7.6 inches. That is my 7.6 inches point. And for me to get the same point, I will measure my shoulder line here as well. My shoulder measurement is 8.5. So I'll measure my 8.5. Then I will draw a broken line to join it so that I will have a straight line. So now I want to draw my straight line. So the next thing, for the front, I will come up from the chest line. I will come up by 3 inches. I will mark the point. I'll come up from the chest line to this point, which is 3 inches. Then that point, the 3 inches point, I will come in by 0.75. I'll come in towards the center front. This is my center front. I'll come in towards the center front by 0.75. Then I will draw a straight line from my shoulder slope to the point that I have 0.75. Then the next thing I will do is for me to impute my bust measurement on my chest line. For me to impute my bust measurement, I will divide my bust by 4. The bust I'm working with is 40 inches. So 40 divided by 4, that gives 10 inches. So I will impute my 10 inches there. So I will use my armhole curve to connect this line. So this is my 0.75 point. I'll connect it to the 10 inches, which is my bust measurement. I believe you can see. So the next thing is for you to impute your waist measurement and the full length. So for the waist measurement, before then, the dart, we are going to make use of 0.5 on each side. So 0.5 on each side, that will give you 1 inch. So you divide your waist measurement by 4 plus 1 inch there. So the waist I'm working with is 33 inches. We divide 33 by 4, it will give you 8.25. So 8.25 plus 1 inch, that is 9.25. And then for the full length that I am working with is 43 inches. The ram, that is the circumference of the full length, is 43 inches. So when you divide 43 inches by 4, it will gives you 10.75. So I will impute my 10.75 on the full length line. So I will connect my lines. Then for you to impute your dart on the waistline, you divide your nipple to nipple measurement, that is your bust span, you divide by 2. So the bust span I'm working with is 9 inches. So you divide 9 inches by 2, it gives you 4.5. So from the center front, I will mark 4.5 inches on the waistline. Mark same on the bust line. Then on the full length line, come up by 2 inches. You can decide to come up by 1.5 inches or 2 inches. But for the purpose of this class, I'm using 2 inches. So come up by 2 inches from my full length line. Then I will draw a straight line to connect the points. So the next thing, I said it earlier that my dart index will be half an inch on each side. So I'll impute my half an inch on both sides now. Then I will connect it to my bust points for the front. Then I will connect this half an inch as well to this point, the 2 inches above the full length. So I'll connect it as well. So that is my dart. So for the bust dart, I said it earlier that the front measurement is longer than the back measurement because of the bust. So for you to be able to make it the same when you are joining your cloth, you need to impute your bust dart, and the bust dart will be the difference between your front measurement and the back measurement. So for the front that I'm working with, I said it from the shoulder to the waist is 17 inches, while for the back is 15 inches. So the difference of 2 inches, that is what I have between my front and the back measurement. I have difference of 2 inches. So my bust measurement now will be 2 inches. But some people, when you measure, you can have 3 inches difference, you can have 1.5 inches difference, you can have 2.5 inches, whatever you have, just use it for your bust dart. So from my bust line, I'll come down with 2 inches, which serve as my bust dart. Then I'll connect it to my bust point. So the next thing now is for me to impute my seam allowance. Then we will cut our pattern. So I'm making use of 1.5 inches on the full length line and on the side seam. I'll connect my line. So for my shoulder, for the joining of the shoulder, I'm going to make use of half an inch, 0.5. That is 0.5. So I'll mark my 0.5. Mark same here. Then I'll connect with a straight line. Connect here as well. Then blend here. So now I'll cut the pattern. So now let's draft our back pattern. Remember, when you are cutting, you are going to cut it on fold. You fold your cloth into 2 before cutting it. You are cutting it on fold. So for the back pattern, on the side that you want to use as your center back, for me, I'm using this side as my center back. So this is my center back, my CD. And I believe you can see this straight line that I have drawn. This part that I'm leaving is for my zipper allowance. That is where I will use for my zipper allowance. Then you still have a starting point which will represent your shoulder line. So the next line after your shoulder line will be your waistline. And I said it earlier that our waistline from the shoulder to the waist is 15 inches for the back, while for the front was 17 inches. Then this is the 15 inches. I've drawn the line already for the sake of time. Then from the shoulder to the full length for the back is 22 inches. For the front was 24 inches, but because of the difference between the back and the front, the 2 inches, that is why we have this one to be 22 inches instead of 24 inches. So this is my 22 inches. The next thing, will be for me to impute my shoulder measurement. Remember, the shoulder I'm working with is 17 inches. 17 divided by 2, that gives me 8.5 inches. Then for the back, I'm making use of 3 inches neck width and 1 inch neck depth. Then I will connect it using my ruler, join my points. I slope my shoulder for the back with 1 inch. Remember, for the front, I slope with 1.5 inches. So this is my 1 inch slope. Then I'll connect it to my neck line. So the next thing is for me to determine my chest line. That's my armhole, to impute my armhole measurement. Remember, the armhole that I'm working with is 7.6 inches. So I'll measure my 7.6 on this line. When I add this slope, that will give me 8.6 on this line, so that I will have a straight line. So I'm going to call this line my chest line. This is my waistline and my full line. So I'm measuring my shoulder line here as well, so that I can join it to have a straight line, because accuracy is very important when drafting your pattern. Because if you don't have accuracy during pattern drafting, your sewing, the fitting of the cloth will be affected. So after drawing the straight line, the next thing is for me to divide from this my slope. I'll divide my 7.6 inches into 2. Then I will mark the point. So what I will do, I will fold my tape into 2. Then I will mark the point. So for the back, I'm going to come in by half an inch. Remember, for the front, I came in towards the center front by 0.75. So for the back, I'm going to come in by half an inch. Then I'll connect with a straight line to my shoulder slope. So the next thing now is for me to impute my bust measurement on the chest line. Remember, the bust measurement is 10 inches that I'm working with. That is my 10 inches. So the next thing now is for me to use my curve ruler, my armhole curve, and connect the points. So the next thing now is for me to impute my waist measurement and the full length measurement. The waist measurement we are using is 8.25 plus 1 inch dart. So when I add the 1 inch dart, that will be 9.25. The full length is 10.75. Then I will connect my points. So to impute my dart on the waistline, from the center back, you come in by 4.5, which is your bust span divided by 2. Yours might not be 4.5. Yours measure from your nipple to nipple measurement, then divide by 2. So I will mark the same 4.5 on the chest line. Then I will come up 2 inches from the full length line. So I'll measure my 4.5 on that point as well. connect it with a straight line. From this point, I'll join all the 3 lines. Then remember that we make use of half an inch on both sides. So I will mark my half an inch on both sides. Then I will connect. Before connecting, for the back, this your bust span divided by 2, the point that you have here, you come down by 1 inch. Come down by an inch, then you connect your line. So for the back tightening, you see some clothes, the zipper doesn't sit well. There will be a bulging at the back. So to eliminate your zipper bulging, you're going to shape the back. So we are shaping the back from the waistline. You can see the one is not straight. There is a curve towards the waist. So I'm making use of 0.5 inch to shape the back. But depending on the shape of the person, you can even make use of 1 inch or 0.75. But I'm making use of half an inch. So from your center back, on your waistline, you come in from the center back with whatsoever measurement that you want to shape your back. I said it earlier, you can use 0.75, you can use 1 inch, but I'm using half an inch here. So I'll mark my half an inch. Then, for you to connect the line from your full length, you can come up with 2 inches or even 1.5. But I'm making use of 2 inches here. You can decide to connect it to your neck depth, or you can come down by 1 inches, but I'll connect mine to my neck depth line. So I'll connect it with a straight line. I'll connect the same to the 2 inches above the full length line. So that is all for our back pattern. I will now add my zipper allowance because of this shaping for the back, the zipper will not be straight as well. So I'm making use of 1.5 inches zipper allowance. You can decide to make use of 2 inches. You can decide to make use of 1 inch. It depends on what you want. From this half an inch point that you shape the back, or from the measurement you use, then you measure whatever measurement you want to use for your zipper allowance. But for this tutorial, making use of 1.5. So connect. So always blend your lines so that you won't have sharp lines. So for the folding allowance, remember I made use of 1.5. So I'm going to use same for the back measurement, for the back pattern. You can even decide to add your allowance when you sew, when you cut your fabric. You can decide to add your allowance when you cut your fabric. I'm still making use of half an inch. So I'm going to cut out my pattern. So that is our back pattern. This is our front pattern after holding the bust dart. I believe you can see how the dart looks like after holding it. That is our front pattern. This is our back pattern. Can you see how beautiful it is? Can you see the shaping of the back for the zipper? Can you see it? This is our back, this is our front pattern, and this is our back pattern. Can you see after holding the bust that it has really matches up? Look at the chest line here, and this is the chest line for the back. This is the chest line for the front. That's the armhole. It has matches up. Look at the waist. The waistline have matched up, and the full length line has matched up. And here is the folding allowance. It has matched up as well. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting videos. You can connect with us in our Facebook page, Unyistitches. Thank you so much. See you on our next tutorial. Bye bye.